So good morning everyone. This is the continuation for the Bureau of Labor Relations. This is in the book 5. So first, for Article 232, Bureau of Labor Relations. The Bureau of Labor Relations and the Labor Relations Divisions in the regional offices of the Department of Labor shall have original and exclusive authority to act at their own initiative or upon request of either or both parties on all inter-union and intra-union conflicts and all disputes, grievances, or problems arising from or affecting labor management relations in all workplaces, whether agricultural or non-agricultural, except those arising from the implementation or interpretation of collective bargaining agreements, which shall be the subject of grievance procedure and or voluntary arbitration. So it is clear here that the Bureau of Labor Relations is the one who will manage all disputes regarding between employee and both employee or the employee-employer conflicts. So this is all about the Bureau of Labor Relations. So more than tasks. Next is the Bureau shall have 15 working days to act on labor cases before it, subject to extension by agreement of the parties as amended by Section 14, Republic Act Number 6750 on March 21, 1989. So, it is clearly said that there will be 15 working days to act on labor cases before it. Next is Article 233 under Section 227, compromise agreement. So any compromise settlement, including those involving labor standard laws, voluntarily agreed upon by the parties with the assistance of the Bureau or the regional office of the Department of Labor, shall be final and binding upon the parties. So the National Labor Relations Commissions or any court shall not assume jurisdiction over issues involved therein except in case of non-compliance thereof, or if there is a prima facie evidence that the settlement was obtained through fraud. So, in compromising agreements, there should be a proper jurisdiction. So, one agency or one department cannot act, dili siya maka-act o muhag siyang jurisdiction sa isang employee if dili sila pareho agency or department. And it shall not assume jurisdiction over issues involved therein except in case of non-compliance thereof, or there is a prima facie evidence of prima facie means initial or first evidence that the settlement was obtained through fraud. Next is Article 234, mandatory reconciliation and endorsement of cases. So exact as provided in Title 7A, Book 5 of this Code as amended, or as may be expected by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. All issues arising from labor and employment shall be subject to mandatory reconciliation, mediation, the labor arbiter of the Department of the appropriate the agency or office that has jurisdiction over the dispute shall enter in only endorsed or referred cases by the duly authorized officer. So it is very important that every cases na ato ang i-reklamo or i-comply dito is duly endorsed for formality. Also, all issues arising from employee-employee relationship or employee-employer conflict should be subjected to mandatory reconciliation mediation. Kaya it is very dili siya maayo in one organization if there are conflicts within. So, dili maayo sa ilang atmosphere sa tuan. Dili makatarong of work. Next is for B. Any or both parties involved in the dispute may pre-terminate the conciliation mediation proceedings and request referral or endorsement to the appropriate dole agency or office which has jurisdiction over the dispute, or if both parties so agree, refer the unresolved issues to voluntary arbitration. So if a case or in conflict is really solved so within the agency or department and is duly na-agree sa duha ka parties na go sa dole, then go sa dole. Provided that it has jurisdiction over that conflict. Next is the issuance of subpoenas, Article 235. The Bureau shall have the power to require the appearance of any person or the production of any paper, document, or matter relevant to a labor dispute under its jurisdiction, either at the request of any interested party or at its own initiative. So, any person or a team that has been like na reklamo sila or nasa like endorsement, then they are required to produce a paper or any document relevant to the labor dispute, provided again that it's in their jurisdiction. Next is Article 263, Appointment of Bureau Personnel. The Secretary of Labor and Employment may appoint, in addition to the present personnel of the Bureau and in the Industrial Relations Division, such as number of examiners and other assistants as may be necessary to carry out the purpose of the code. So, it is okay to appoint ang Secretary of Labor and Employment in addition to the present personnel of the Bureau to assist the necessary purpose of the code. Next is the Article 236, the appointment of Article 237, 236 appointment. The Bureau shall keep a registry of legitimate labor organizations. I believe na. Article 237, tuloy na siya. Article 237, Registry of Unions and File of Collective Bargaining Agreements. So the Bureau shall keep a registry of legitimate labor organizations. The Bureau shall also maintain a file of all collective bargaining agreements and other related agreements and records of settlement of labor disputes and copies of orders and decisions of voluntary arbitrators. So it is very important that the Bureau of Labor Relations should give all the necessary documents, including katong mga disputes or conflicts sa una, as well as a collective bargaining agreements sa una. Also, ang mga forms sa union or registration forms sa union. It is very important kaya na sila file na. Next is, within 30 days from the execution of a collective bargaining agreement, the parties shall submit copies of the same directly to the Bureau or the regional offices of the Department of Labor and Employment for registration, accompanied with verified proofs of its posting into conspicuous place in the place of work and ratification by the majority of all the workers in the office. So, if naka-conflict between an employee, so you are expected to submit copies of the same pareha mo submit mo copies sa Bureau of Labor Relations or sa Regional Office of the Department of Labor and Employment. So the Bureau of Regional Office shall assess the employer for every collective bargaining agreement a registration fee of not less than 1,000 pesos or any other amount as may be deemed appropriate and necessary by the Secretary of Labor and Employment for the effective and efficient administration of the voluntary arbitration program. Any amount collected under these provisions shall accrue to the special voluntary arbitration. So there is a registration fee of 1,000 pesos for every employer na mukuan of collective bargaining agreement. So the Bureau shall also maintain a file and shall undertake or assist in the publication of all final decisions, orders, and awards of the Secretary of Labor and Employment, regional directors, and the Commission. So they're talking they must always maintain a file. So Article 238, Prohibition and Certification Election. So the Bureau shall not entertain any petition for certification, election, or any other action which may disturb the administration of duly registered existing collective bargaining agreements affecting the parties except under Articles 253, 253A, 256 of this code. So Article 239, Privilege Commission. information and statements made at conciliation proceedings shall be treated as privileged commissions and should not always be used as evidence in the commission. So, conciliators and similar officials shall not testify in any court or body regarding any matters taken up at the conciliation proceedings conducted by them. So, next is the labor organizations, Chapter 1, the registration and cancellation sa mga labor organizations or sa mga unions. So, Article 240, requirements of registration. So, a federation, a national union or industry or trade union center or an independent union shall acquire legal personality and shall be entitled to the rights and privileges granted by law to legitimate labor organizations upon issuance of the certificate of registrations based on the following requirements. So, any unions, national unions, federations, and industry, even trade union centers, or an independent union shall be required or required din sila na mag-register, hindi lang tayo bubulko lang sila. Dayon, but then there is a need of registration. So these are the following requirements. For first, 50 pesos registration fee. So 50 pesos registration fee lang. B. The names of its officers and their addresses, the principal address of the labor organization, the minutes of the organizational meetings, and the list of the workers who participated in such meetings. So it is very important that in every meetings we have these minutes in order para po siyang ma-incorporate sa any na documents. So this includes the name of its officers, mga address sa officers, the principal address of the labor organizations, kung asa ni siya nga labor organizations, asa ni siya mga company. So, mabutang na siya sa registration form. The minutes of the organizational meetings, including the minutes during meetings of the labor organizations, and the list of the workers who participated in such meetings. Also, list of workers or members sa meetings. Ano siya, including na siya dito sa registration form. Next is, in case the applicant is an independent union, the names of all its members comprising at least 20% of all the employees in the bargaining unit where it seeks to operate. So, if any case nga independent union siya, so the names of all its members comprising at least 20% of all the employees. So, dapat 20% siya, kasi 20% sa employees, that mga organization, yung mga sa ilang union, if independent ang ilang union. D, if the applicant union has been in existence for one or more years, copies of its annual financial reports. So, another requirement in the registration of the labor organization is the financial reports. It is very important na i-apil po na i-corporate po na ito ang financial reports in registering a union. So, E, 4 copies of the Constitution and bylaws of the applicant union, minutes of its adoption or ratification, and the list of the members who participated in it. Again, it is very important nga in every meeting there is a minutes. So, 4 copies of the Constitution and bylaws. So, it is very important na po CBL in order for the members as well as the officers to follow. So, minutes of its adoptions or ratifications. So, ito niya, 50 pesos nga registration forms, and then minutes, address sa ilang members, sa ilang officers, also a minutes sa meeting wherein na-added ko naka-stipulate ang members of the participate that mga meetings. And then the CBL, the minutes of its adoptions and ratifications. Article 241, chartering and creation of a local chapter. A duly registered federation or national union may directly create a local chapter by issuing a charter certificate indicating the establishment of a local chapter. So after ma-register ang isang union, then they can create chapter by issuing, provided that they have a charter certificate indicating that the establishment is on that specific local organizations. entitled to all other rights and privileges of a legitimate labor organization only upon the submission of the following documents in addition to its charter certificate. So, kato nga chapter is more na siya o ubos, mura kita usap na siya ito nga organization. So, these are the documents, no, dili lang kung charter certificate ang needs ay isang chapter but then mga additional documents. First is the names of the chapter's officers, their addresses, and the principal office of the chapter. So, again, narigyan mo ng chapter's officers, kinsang officers sa katamang chapter, mga address nila, and the principal office of the chapter. So, where their office is located. Next is the chapter's constitution and bylaws, the CBLs of the chapter, provided that where the chapter's constitution and bylaws are the same as that of the federation or the national union, this fact shall be indicated accordingly. So, pari-pariha lang sila o CBL. Next is Article 242, Action on Application. The Bureau shall act on all applications for registrations within 30 days from filing. If you are going to file a con, then you have 30 days to register that labor organization. Next is Article 244, Additional Requirements for Federations or National Unions. Subject to Article 238, now Article 244, if the applicant for registration is a federation or a national union, it shall, in addition to the requirements of the preceding article, submit the following. So, kapag mga next to mga documents or requirements is not only that, madumagan din siya sa Article 244. First, proof of the affiliation of at least 10 local chapters, each of it which must be a duly recognized collective bargaining agent in the establishment or industry in which it operates, supporting the registration of such applicant federation or national union. So, there should be at least 10 locals or chapters. Next is the names and addresses of the companies where the locals or chapters operate and the list of all the members in each company involved. So, na-add to siya dito in order to file a application for registration. So, the names, addresses, it is very important na union nga na-add mga names and addresses sa members. Also, in which or asa ang company na Article 245, Cancellation of Registration. The certificate of registration of any legitimate labor organization, whether national or local, may be cancelled by the Bureau. After due hearing, only the grounds specified in Article 239 thereof. So, ano mga grounds for cancellation sa registration? Article 246, effect of a petition for cancellation or registration. A petition for cancellation of union registration shall not suspend the proceedings for certification election, nor shall it prevent the filing of a petition for certification election. So now, here are the grounds for cancellation of union registration. In Article 247. A. Misinterpretation, false statement, or fraud in connection with the adoption or ratification of the Constitution and bylaws or amendments thereto, the minutes of ratification, and the list of members who took part in the ratification. So first, if misrepresentation, false statement, if that certain labor organization is wala lang sa ilaha, na misrepresent lang sila, also they are involved in false statement, and then they are fraud or they are subjected to grounds for cancellation or ma-cancel lang registration if wala siya na-represent of government. Next is misrepresentation, again, false statements of fraud in connection with the election of officers, minutes of the election of officers, and the list of voters. So again, next ground for cancellation of registration is the misrepresentation within the election of officers. O wala tanong ilang pag-elect of officers, also wala ang minutes sa election of officers, and also dili pod kanang sakto ilang list of voters. Kasi for example, wala rin nabot sila quorum, nag-vote sila. Next is voluntary dissolution by members. Of course, there is a cancellation of registration if all the members volunteer to dissolve their labor organization. So Article 248, voluntary cancellation of registration. So this article contains as to how to cancel or to voluntarily cancel the registration of that certain labor organizations. The registration of a legitimate labor organization may be cancelled by the organization itself, provided that at least 2/3 of its general membership votes in a meeting duly called for the purpose to dissolve the organization. Provided further that an applicant to cancel registration is thereafter submitted by the board of the organization attested to by the president thereof. So if labor organizations is planning to volunteer the cancellation of registration, then it is in the law that there should be at least 2/3 of its general membership votes na duly selected to dissolve the labor organizations. Equity, Article 249, equity of the incumbent. All existing federations and national unions which meet the qualifications of a legitimate labor organization and none of the grounds for cancellation shall continue to maintain their existing affiliates regardless of the nature of the industry and the location of the affiliates. Next is Chapter 2 na siya, Rights and Conditions of Membership. So for Article 250, Rights and Conditions of Membership in a Labor Organizations. The following are the rights and conditions of membership in a labor organizations. First, no arbitrary or excessive initiation fees shall be required of the members of a legitimate labor organization, nor shall arbitrary, excessive, or oppressive fine and forfeiture be imposed. So, as stated ganyan sa article for registration, there is a lang 50 pesos ang registration sa ilang labor organization and also 1,000 pesos para sa collective bargaining agreements. Other than that, wala nila imbaryan ang atong collective bargaining agreements if only to na siya conflict. Other than that, wala nila imbaryan ang members sa labor organization. Next is, the members shall be entitled to full and detailed reports from their officers and representatives of all financial transactions as provided for in the Constitution and bylaws of the organization. So it is very important that the members of the certain labor organizations yung maghatag sila full detailed reports from their officers and representatives even kinailangan mga transactions during meetings. Also financial transactions as it is provided for in the Constitution and bylaws of the organization. So mga state nagdala sa CPL ang mga financial transactions and C. The members shall directly elect their officers, including those of the national union or federation, to which their union is affiliated by secret ballot at intervals of 5 years. So, during election of their officers, so those members shall elect their officers by secret ballot at intervals of 5 years. Every 5 years, sila mag-change of officers. No labor organization shall knowingly admit as members or continue in a membership any individual who belongs to a subversive organization or who is engaged directly and indirectly in a subversive activity. F. No person who has been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude shall be eligible for election as a union officer or for appointment to any position in the union. So if you are a person who has been convicted of a crime involving moral turpitude, then you are discouraged to run as a union officer or any appointed position in the union. Only if convicted ka of a crime involving moral turpitude. G. No officer, agent, or member of the labor organization shall collect any fees, dues, or other contributions in its behalf or make in the disbursement of its monies or funds unless he is duly authorized pursuant to its constitution and by laws. So, if wala kami sa CBL, dili dyan mapatakataka o collect ang officers, agent, or member unless he is duly authorized pursuant to its constitution and by laws. No officer, agent, or member of a labor organization shall collect any fees, dues, or other contributions provided nga if not to say lang CBL, then it is okay to collect. But if wala sa CBL, then it's not. Right na siya, it is a right of a member of a labor organization to ask or to demand for transparency. So every payment of fees, dues, or other contributions by a member shall be evidenced by a receipt signed by the officer or agent making the collection and entered into the record of the organization to be kept and maintained for the purpose. So in every transaction, in every payment of fees, there should be a receipt signed by the officer or agent making the collection. So kung isa itong nagpakuha ng collection, there should be a resibo. Resibo dapat always. Resibo. First, the funds of the organization shall not be applied for any purpose or object other than those expressly provided by its constitution and by laws, or those expressly authorized by written resolution adopted by the majority of the members at a general meeting duly called for the purpose. So, the funds of the organization is dili siya pwede gamiton sa uban. Dili siya pwede hulman, dili siya pwede gamiton sa uban yung purpose other than sa labor organization lang yun, or sa inakastipulate sa ilang CBL. Next is, every income or revenue of the organization shall be evidenced by a record showing its source, and every expenditure of its funds shall be evidenced by a receipt from the person to whom the payment is made, which shall state the date, place, and purpose of such payment. Such records or receipts shall form part of the financial records of the organization. So, if the labor organizations is nagka-income siya, so there should be an evidence recording showing its source. Mga sa siya gikan, every expenditures, every mga na-spend, and also the receipt from the person to whom the payment is made. Any action involving the funds of the organization shall prescribe after 3 years from the date of submission of the annual financial report to the Department of Labor and Employment, or from the date that the same should have been submitted as required by law, whichever comes earlier, provided that this provision shall apply only to a legitimate labor organization which has submitted the financial report requirements under its code. Provide further that the failure of any labor organization to comply within the periodic financial reports required by law and such rules and regulations promulgated therein 6 months after the effectivity of this act shall automatically result in the cancellation of union registration of such labor organization. So if failure labor organization will comply of periodic financial reports, then your labor organization is subjected to cancellation of union registration. Next, the officers of any labor organization shall not be paid any compensation other than the salaries of expenses due to their positions, especially provided for in its constitution and by laws, or in written resolution duly authorized by a majority of all the members at the general membership meeting duly called for the purpose. So here now, as we have observed, so every article is nakakuha siya ng constitution and by laws because it is very important for us to abide sa atong CBL kay mo na siya ang Bible sa atong organization. So any officer, so ang officer sa isang labor organization is not entitled to have a paid any compensation. So dili sila, wala sila sweldo. The treasurer of any labor organization and every officer thereof is responsible for the account of such organization or for the collection, management, disbursement, custody, or control of the funds, monies, properties of organization shall render to the organization and to its members a true and correct account of all monies received and paid by him since he assumed office or since the last day on which he rendered such account, and of all bonds, securities, and other properties of the organization entrusted to its custody or under his control. So it is very important that the treasurer embodies honesty, integrity. Okay, it is very fun. You will tell money and then.